Dear Diary, this is the Cranium Report. A few people have given me shit like, on YouTube saying, you compare Bloomberg to Hitler. Well, that's vague. I agree it's vague, but am I going to spend hundreds of thousands of hours documenting each example where Bloomberg is like Hitler? Example, it's common knowledge that Bloomberg arrested people who criticized government. He arrested 1,800 people in the Republican National Convention in 2004 alone. That was huge news. And remember, he didn't simply violate federal law 1,800 times. He then violated federal law repeatedly by holding these people in a truck garage, which was super illegal, and he detained them for longer than allowed by law, which is super illegal, because he wanted to hold them until after the Republican National Convention was done. And this piece of shit is a convict right there alone. That's enough to put him in jail for a long time. And Ray Kelly, his fucking mobster police commissioner, in jail for a very long time. Keep in mind that Ray Kelly, super mobster, one of the most dirty police commissioners in American history, was Bloomberg's second choice. Bloomberg thought Bernie Kerik was even better than Ray Kelly. But Bernie Kerik said no, and now Bernie Kerik's in prison. Ray Kelly most likely should go to prison. There's a good chance, like Bernie Kerik, he will go to prison, but you have to wait till he is out of power because nobody in law enforcement has the courage or integrity to go after one of their brothers. And Bernie Kerik was so corrupt that New York refused to touch him. He was brought down by New Jersey prosecutors. That's happened many times where like NYPD big crime syndicates were brought down by police departments outside of New York City because our attorney general in New York State is almost always a fucking criminal. Like he is right now, Eric Schneiderman, fucking super Nazi piece of shit. All of our district attorneys are criminals. They refuse to touch the mayor. It's all professional courtesy. They're like, we're breaking laws. You're breaking laws. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's how government works. So I'll give you a few examples of how Bloomberg is like Hitler. Ironically, or maybe not, I had a blog. I had several blogs about Bloomberg where I listed tons of facts about Bloomberg and what a super fucking criminal he is, and what a super Nazi he is. Bloomberg's people made a couple calls to Google, a Blogspot owner, and my blogs were all removed quietly in the middle of the night. Now, that's not at all Nazi. Like, if Hitler was alive today and the Nazis were in charge, I'm sure they wouldn't be regulating blogs or free speech, would they? I don't need a second example to put Mr. Bloomberg in federal prison. But wait, there's more. Off the top of my head, I can list 100,000 of Bloomberg's crimes that are similar to Hitler. But wait, I'll go even further. For the same low price. On my blog, sadly, I proved that Bloomberg is worse than Hitler in almost every single category. Example, because you'll notice I use specifics unlike my critics. Example, Hitler was anti-war profiteering. Bloomberg is pro-war profiteering. Now, Hitler wasn't anti-war. He loved war. He hated all humans. He loved war. But he didn't think the German munitions company should be allowed to bleed the German taxpayer dry. I want anybody on earth to look me in the eyes, except for Dick Cheney, and say, I agree that makes Hitler. I agree. I don't agree with you. I think Hitler's still worse because he was against war profiteering and Bloomberg's pro-up. No, we couldn't have war if there was no profits to be made. Bloomberg is a scumbag, worse than Adolf Hitler. I'm going to go on. And you can't find me a Jewish scholar. I dare you to find me one Jew on earth who will stand up with me in public and debate me on this. There's no comparing Adolf Hitler to Mike Bloomberg. None. And if you think I'm exaggerating, then why don't we debate it in public? Because my critics are full of shit. Another example. Well known, Hitler was pro-animal rights. Well known, Bloomberg was very, very anti-animal rights. Bing, ding, ding. I'm sorry, but all civilized people say Hitler was better than Bloomberg. Hell, Bloomberg announced last year he was going to gas 6,000 geese. Even better, using Zyklon B, the Nazis' gas they used to kill humans. You can't make this shit up. Bloomberg is so super psychotic. Remember, I argue that he's the greatest criminal to ever breathe air in all mankind's history. I'll put him against Caligula. I'll put him against Napoleon. I'll put him against any 50 dictators you can put. And I'll let you take 500 historians to back you up, and we'll debate in a public forum. Because remember, nobody on earth knows anything about Mike Bloomberg because all the billionaire-owned media kept it all secret. So you can't say Bloomberg's worse than Hitler. You shouldn't even be talking out your ass. You don't know anything about Bloomberg. I do. And I've done a lot of research. And the more research I did on the Nazis, the more I was shocked. Oh my God, they're better than Bloomberg. Oh my God, they're more honest than Bloomberg. Oh my God, they're more intelligent than Bloomberg. Oh my God, they're more decent than Bloomberg. Oh my God. I used to think like you. I used to think, oh man, the Nazis were the greatest monsters of all time. But then when you look closer and you see shit is fucking superficial, a lot of stuff you hear is myths. A lot of stuff you hear is deceptions. A lot of stuff is oversimplification, blah, blah, blah. Now, Hitler was a piece of shit, no doubt about it. He was like a slightly more intelligent and charismatic Mike Bloomberg. But no one disputes, not one Jewish scholar disputes that Hitler was pretty honest and that Bloomberg is psychotically dishonest. Here's the analogy. If Hitler had ran for office saying, I will protect the Jews, we will bring a new age of pacifism to Germany, I will support the weak and the handicapped, he'd be Mike Bloomberg. All of our politicians in America today are worse than Hitler, obviously. Hitler was pretty honest. Read Mein Kampf. A lot of shit in there he really meant. Now, in America, we do the opposite here. What a politician does is they say the exact opposite of what they stand for, whether it's Barack Obama or George W. Bush. You say the exact opposite of what you mean every day. Right? Whether it's Barack saying, I'm going to close Gitmo immediately, or all the other fucking lies. Everything he said was a lie. I told everyone, starting in 2004, 4 years before he ran for president, that he was a total fake, total fraud, total corporate tool Manchurian candidate. Everyone laughed at me. Now, none of them are laughing. I'm curious. There's no mysteries here, people. You just have to fucking wake up, sleepyheads. So Bloomberg, a zillion times more dishonest than Hitler. Bloomberg has gotten caught lying in every single category he's discussed. Every single category he's discussed, from economic development to education to his fucking riches to the way he runs government and the way he runs his business. Every single category. I can list tens of thousands of direct lies by Mike Bloomberg. Bring it on. I'm the world's foremost Bloomberg scholar. I'm not making this shit up. Now, let's get on to more specifics. Example. The Nazis Here's another example. The Nazis cared more about law and order and the rule of law than Mike Bloomberg did. Hitler didn't just break all his own laws, but Bloomberg. Oh my God, Apple computers are a fucking piece of shit. Brand new MacBook Pro, and it glitches every fucking 10 minutes. Piece of fucking shit. Oh, I can't even fathom how shitty this thing is. But I understand ones and zeros are complicated when you've got billions of dollars on programming. Bloomberg despises due process. He not only despises due process, he's been proudly boastful of it over and over and over. I mean, I'm impressed. I almost want to applaud the guy. It's like, look, America's never seen anything like you. Remember, we can sum that up in a second. America has never seen a criminal remotely as bad as Bloomberg. He's the first politician to overthrow term limits. Bloomberg didn't. I mean, Bush and Cheney didn't even try. And he stole billions of our dollars in order to achieve that. My God, this fucking retarded MacBook Pro can't even let me record until it's new. I understand. I mean, sometimes things new they just don't work that often. I know it's tough. Yeah. No, it's called capitalism. The purpose of capitalism is to make as much money out of your pocket while providing as little service as possible. Duh. That's the entire purpose of capitalism. Duh. It's not even a secret. The goal isn't to let's charge the lowest price possible and give them the highest quality price possible. So it'll take me 30 years to buy a mansion. No. The goal is to charge as much as you can get away with while providing the shittiest product you can get away with. So you can buy 2 mansions, 3 mansions, so you can have a fancy car to try and get laid. That's the point of capitalism. Did Adolf Hitler steal $5 billion before he took power? No, 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 no. Did Joseph Stalin? No, no. Bush and Cheney? No, 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 no. Again, you don't know anything about Bloomberg. He made none of his initial $5 billion legally. I'll save that for another day. I can go into a 3-hour lecture about that shit. We're just right now comparing him to Adolf Hitler. Now, so far, I haven't proven he's like Hitler. I've proven he's nothing like Hitler. Hitler had a little more class, a little more honesty, a little more decency. Let's confront some of the big issues that you lazy fucks think about. Most of you are really, really intellectually lazy. So when you hear Nazi, you think somebody who wants to kill Jews. That's retarded. It doesn't even make any sense on its face. Example, it's not a secret that they didn't start building concentration camps for fucking 6 years. That's not a secret. It's well known that the Nazis' intent wasn't to kill Jews. That's not even remotely a secret. You've seen the photos even. This is how stupid and lazy you humans are. You've seen the fucking goddamn photos of skinny Jews in their black and white striped outfits in their barracks with like 12 of them piled high on bunk beds. Have you not seen those photos? The Jewish community loves to show those photos. And you weren't smart enough to go, wait a minute, that photo proves the Jews lied. If you were going to kill all these people, why would you make them clothing? That doesn't make any sense. If your intent was to kill all the Jews, why would you build shelter for them? Why would you? The Germans were very efficient. Even the Jews agree. The Jews were very efficient. Why would they waste time and money? You know, remember, they're in a world war. They maybe could use the manpower and the time and the money for something better than building barracks for the people they're just going to execute and making outfits for the people they're just going to execute. History lied to you. The goal was not to kill all the Jews. That would be retarded. And Bloomberg is at least wise enough to know that. He doesn't want to kill all the minorities in New York. He wants to enslave them forever, to make them work their asses off 2 jobs to pay their rent, to pay the record tax hikes that he and his friends are profiting from and buying more mansions and throwing themselves more caviar parties. The Nazis did not intend to kill all the Jews. Why would you kill 6 million slave laborers? That's moronic. The Nazis were not moronic, okay? So get that fucking myth out of your head. The purpose, they wanted to enslave. First they passed laws making it so Jews couldn't be doctors or own property, blah, blah, and they seized all of their assets and things like that, all kinds of stuff like that. They wanted all the Jews' money. Let me back up. That's another example of how the Nazis were far superior to Mike Bloomberg. The Nazis often went after rich people. Did you know that? The Nazis went after the Jews. Yeah, they went after the poor sometimes, but they didn't. They didn't go after poor Germans. They didn't go after the German middle class. But Mike Bloomberg did destroy the lives of middle-class Jews and poor Jews in New York City. Again, we all agree unanimously. Bloomberg is not like Hitler. Bloomberg's a lot worse than Hitler. We all agree. The Nazis and Hitler sponsored the Volkswagen Beetle, a car designed for the middle class and the poor. And it was a pretty quality car. Right? Those things fucking lasted. Those things were well made. Everyone agrees. Mike Bloomberg declared war on all the poor and middle-class people in New York City and did everything in his power to destroy their lives. I'll list tens and tens of thousands of concrete examples if you don't believe me. Mike Bloomberg destroyed the lives of as many Jews as Hitler did. Oh, wait, but again, you're a lazy thinker. Watch this. You're going to be like, no, that's not true. He fucking killed those 6 million Jews. Hitler just Bloomberg just evicted them and stole all their money and made their lives shit and didn't kill them. Exactly. Every human being on earth agrees with me that torture is more inhumane than murder. Whether it's putting an animal down, a wounded animal down, or let's try this test. You find me one human being on earth who agrees with Mike Bloomberg that torture is not as bad as murder. And I will get that person to change their story in 5 minutes. We'll tie them up. I'll start to torture them. And you're going to hear them screaming bloody murder. And they're going to be begging after just 5 minutes of agonizing pain. Please, please end my pain. End my pain and suffering. Bloomberg's been torturing people for 10 years. But that's again, misleading if you're lazy intellectually. He's destroyed people's lives forever. For instance, it will take New York City literally over 200 million years to pay off his debts. And every year the debts will grow and the debt service will grow. You seem to overlook that little fact. I'd rather be murdered. I don't want to be tortured. I've been tortured my whole life. I'm going to be tortured. Anyone who lives in New York City is going to be tortured every day for the rest of their life. This mayor stole everything. He ruined everything. Cultural genocide. The damage he did can never be undone. You don't know the depths of damage this crook has done. Now, slowly, New Yorkers are starting to realize it now. Every day I see people online and all the media websites saying, this guy needs to go to prison. This guy's destroyed the city. This guy's destroyed everything. This guy is a psychopath. This guy's the biggest criminal in New York history. It took him 10 years to figure that out. But you're missing the point. The point is the world, fuck America. The world has never seen a madman like Mike Bloomberg. Oh, no? I want you to prove to me that Hitler tried to get more sugar into the bellies of all German children. We know that's not true. Hitler cared about health and Aryan fitness. Mike Bloomberg illegally, secretly made Snapple the official drink of New York City. Name another psychopath in American history who did something that sick. Go for it. You can't. Even Hitler wasn't fucking half that fucking sick in the head. And remember, everything Mike Bloomberg said later turned out to be a lie. He promised us tens of millions of dollars. All fell through. None of it was true. It was a dirty, dirty trick. And Mike Bloomberg had to move the Snapple machines into all the elementary schools to tempt the little kids to give more money to the sugar drinks and sugar drinks. Hell, I've been in Rikers Island 7 times. These Nazis put me in there over and over again for criticizing the mayor, just like I am right now. I wasn't charged with littering. I was charged with speech against the mayor. Now, this people might not realize is in Rikers, they serve us for liquid a thing they call juice. Now, that juice is Kool-Aid minus the vitamin C. It is sugar water. Now, only on planet Earth, with the dumbest fucking humans alive, would everyone say the man who spent tax dollars, we'd be better off if we all drank water. But they don't serve water in the cafeterias. They serve juice, which is 100% ghetto sugar water. It's not juice of any kind. It's fucking sub Kool-Aid. He wanted to make us fat and sick. Why would you put... Now, you could say, oh, Snapple's got water. Oh, Snapple's got some healthy drinks. Okay, look at most of their drinks, you lying fucking super Hitler. Sugar, 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 sugar. High fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup. You fucking lying piece of shit super Nazi. And it's sad because there's nothing... People, a lot of you think there was justice when Hitler blew his brains out. No, there wasn't. Hitler wanted to die famous. Tell me he failed. You people are intellectually lazy as shit. You don't know fucking jack shit. You just believe what everybody else believes, right? When everybody else said the earth was flat, you would have thought it was too. Lazy, lazy. Hell, you could just look up at the moon and see that thing's round. It doesn't look flat. If this is round orb in the sky, oh, the sun looks kind of round too. What are the chances we're on a round orb? Hush. People, why would you put sugar vending machines in the elementary schools? But see, remember, one thing that Bloomberg does, and this is, again, you can't, much worse than the Nazis. The Nazis were, for the most part, consistent. Now, they weren't completely. They were fucking two-faced hypocrites like most people, right? The joke being that the guys who ran Nazi Germany, all of them were, one was a homo, one was a fat slob, one was a fucking homely midget. There was nothing Aryan about them. All the guys who ran Nazi Germany were the opposite of the Aryan ideal. They weren't blonde, blue-eyed, nothing. They were hypocrites, just like little wormy Michael Bloomberg midget Hitler. And so let's see, where were we? with the sugar water and things like that. One thing that Mike Bloomberg does that nobody has noticed but me is he always plays both sides of the fence. And that's not a bisexuality dig. A lot of people joke that he's gay. I've heard rumors from gay activists, too, because often they're the ones who know, because when the mayor hires a little boy to be his hooker, that word gets around. But who knows? Who cares? My point is this. For example, the number one... Oops, let me pause and save. What Mike Bloomberg does is and this is, you would almost call this smart, but it's not. It's lazy. But he said, if I just play on both teams, then I'm guaranteed to be on the winning team. And so that's what this two-faced piece of shit does. He is the greatest two-face in recorded human history. Example, all the newspapers owned by billionaires, fellow billionaire moguls who have dinner with Mike Bloomberg at his mansion, weird coincidence, they all say he is Mr. Anti-Guns. He is fighting. He's at the forefront of Mayors Against Guns and all these groups and spending his own money, which of course isn't his own money, but spending his own money to fight guns all over America. Hooray, hooray, and that's what they tell us every day, and most of the sheep believe it. But he's the number one funder of the Republican Party in America, number one funder of Bush Cheney, number one funder of the Republicans who just retook New York State Senate. He spent $900,000, well, that we know of. $900,000 he spent to replace the Democrats in the state Senate of New York with Republican control. Now, the Republicans are pretty clear about not wanting gun control, not wanting federal gun control. So any criminals can go to Texas tomorrow, go into a Walmart, buy a whole bunch of assault rifles, drive them back to New York City, and sell them to fucking 15-year-old drug dealers. Because Bloomberg believes in prohibition, knowing it creates most crime. It's not a secret that he's the number one funder of anti-gun gun control Republicans. So how do you fucking resolve that? No human in American history, this is no joke, no human in American history did more to hinder gun control than Mike Bloomberg. But since he's the mayor of New York City, which is a super liberal place, or at least used to be, he has to present himself as a gun control activist. You see, he's got to play both sides of the fence. That way fucking piece of shit. Apple computers just fucking glitching and glitching and glitching. Remember, everyone told you Apple was great. I've been saying for at least 13 years that Steve Jobs is a fucking criminal and he's a fucking snake and his products are fucking shit. Yeah, they got some nice bells and whistles, but they're fucking shit designed to fall apart instantly. It just keeps glitching. But again, you're right. It's a brand new MacBook Pro. You can't expect it to work yet. So the first MacBook Pro I bought in 2003 with one of my lawsuit settlements against Giuliani for false Nazi arrest, it couldn't tell time out of the box. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Christopher, how can a $1,300 device created by super geniuses, expecting it to be able to tell time is a little unfair, don't you think? I mean, it does lots of amazing things. I mean, telling time is complicated. It's tricky. It really is. And you only pay, I mean, a $1,300 clock can't be expected to be able to tell time. No. And it never could tell time. Sometimes it could tell time, and then it would crash, and then it would fuck up its inner clock. And it would crash and fuck up its inner clock. And it would crash and fuck up its inner clock. It's like, do I have to really reset the clock on this piece of shit? 600. I gotta fucking beat the shit out of fucking Steve Jobs. It just keeps glitching like all the other programs keep glitching. Because you get what you pay for under capitalism, they told me. You believe that shit. I never did. You don't get what you pay for. I bought an Apple for a couple different reasons. I was a little bit in a bind. Otherwise, I would have leaped at a $400 fucking PC, which are much better. I'm sorry. But there are certain things the Apple does that I need immediately. Anyhow, I guess wait, we're going to stop this and make it 2 parts. Bloomberg worse than Hitler. You've been listening to the Cranium Report with Commander Cranium.